was Russian, not Chinese. No, it was Chinese, not Russian. I was told it was Chinese or Russian. I don't know, but I'm going to get to it. Hey, can my guy send me another rundown so I have it on the big board? But guess what? Suck it, Deadspin. That's right. I said it. I meant it. And I don't regret it. That young kid, Holden Armenta, that kid showed up. Yeah, he did. 9 years old. Deadspin tried to cancel him. Can you think about this for just a second? I just want to think about what I just said. 9 years old, and Deadspin tried to cancel him. 9 years old, and some adult writer, albeit a racist adult writer, named Karan Phillips, tried to cancel a 9-year-old boy, and then jumping on the bandwagon of it is America's Worst People, Julie DiCarlo, who is so nondescript other than the fact that she's the size of this freaking TV screen. And then, of course, Dan Le Batard chimed in. So we got America's Worst. All we needed was Sarah Spain involved and Pablo Torre and Bomani Jones, and we'd had a sando of awfulness trying to, and I'm going to say this again, cancel a 9-year-old boy. It's unbelievable. So Holden shows up. Holden, he's Native American. If you don't know the story, we talked about it on the show. Holden, they showed only one side of his face. He painted his face black and red. Deadspin showed one side. Young man shows up in blackface. No, he didn't. He showed up in the colors of the team that he cheers for from his town. And he's Native American. That's right. So they try to cancel him. Guess what? Holden says, hey, you bempty. Right there, I got this for you. And he shows up at the Super Bowl, makes a prediction 31-28, and guess what? Holden ain't wrong. He's right there. He's right on it. I like Holden. See, we support SAC. We will always support SAC. We will never not support SAC. We will support the kind of SAC that says, you know what? I ain't having it with you peoples. I don't care about you peoples. I ain't dealing with you peoples. You're mad at me? Good. Go over there and be mad. And you know what? Holden did just that. Holden showed up, he showed out, and guess what? Damn near predicted the game exactly as it was. Did we show Holden? I know that's him kind of, sort of, but did we show the tweet where he rode around, walked around, and everybody made a big deal? Now, I'm a little sad about this. I would have loved to see, I like those guys there, going half black face, half red face. I wish Holden would have stuck with the half black face, half red face because, well, frankly, it sticks it up the you-know-what of jackasses that cannot wait to get offended. And we here at OutKick, we don't like those that can't wait to get offended. If you can't wait to get offended by something as innocuous as a 9-year-old boy rooting for his team, then we hope, ladies and gentlemen, we hope against hope that Deadspin gets bankrupt in the lawsuit that Holden and his family are serving Deadspin. And we, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we will be following this lawsuit because we, ladies and gentlemen, fight for your right of honesty. That's right. We don't like the fact that some racist Karan Phillips or some sexist, terminal, complete, compulsive victim named Julie DiCarlo tried to destroy a 9-year-old boy. Let me say that again. Tried to destroy a 9-year-old boy. And then Le Batard's dumbass chimes in because Le Batard's a dumbass. And he has to chime in. That's the way the world works. There was a time Alyssa Milano was hot. And I know in the world that we're living in, I don't know if you're supposed to call women hot or not, and I don't care. You know, I'm at the age where, oh, man, Alzheimer's. Oh, man, dementia. Oh, man, really? But there was a time Alyssa Milano was hot. I'm not going to go through her various shows because I don't really know. She's kind of in that era younger than me. In fact, younger than me to the point where I don't even know what show she's in. I just noticed she was kind of hot. But it's like every other guy or every other girl that is hanging out by themselves in a bar late night. If they have anything going for them, they wouldn't be hanging out in a bar late night. And no matter the level of hotness, once you get to know said boy or said girl, their level of hotness externally shrinks or rises depending on their personality. I'll give you an example. I thought my wife, the lovely Lee Ross, was the most beautiful woman there was. I mean, she looks like Jennifer Aniston. There is her Twitter handle. We don't have it here, but her next to Jennifer Aniston, ESPN, when she was coaching at Syracuse, showed it. They put it on the screen. Lee became a national sensation. Football players at Syracuse swooned. She became their coach crush. People from all over the country thought she was MILF of the year. Guys sent her letters. They thought Jennifer Aniston. I knew that when I got divorced, I was going to call her under the guise of trying to find out something, but I was sniffing around like dudes do. Long story short, long road. I finally snag her. Yeah, that's right. And I find out that she's way hotter as a human being than she is externally. So I always use her as a gauge. I've always used her like, man, beautiful. I mean, you see her in a bikini. I used to sneak pictures and send them to my friends. Look at my girlfriend. She would slap me. You're a pig. She always knew. But it was a game we played. Not the nudies, not the naked ones, bikini ones. Come on. We don't have any naked ones. That's where she draws the line. Me? I'll take any picture you want any way you want. What do I care? I'm a pig. But anyway, I digress. So Lee, by getting to know her, goes from humming hot to holy cow, I got to act respectful. She's so hot. That's what happens with boys and girls. That guy that you see across the hall living in that apartment looking like John Hamm, well, maybe he's John Hamm's character in Liz Lemon's, whatever that show is called, 30 Rock. You never know. Anyway, the more you know of Alyssa Milano, the more of a battle axe she is. I like that word. It's old. If you're an old person, you know battle axe. Not sure what it means. Just means an old hag, I suppose. But anyway, she's a battle axe. She's out here begging so that her little son can go to the damn Cooperstown. All right, I ain't mad at you. Kid gets to go to Cooperstown, fine. But you're a millionaire, whatever you are, heir. All right? Well, then this picture shows up. Now, the kid, all right, I'm going to leave the kid out of it. Not his fault. But Alyssa Milano, my head's hurting. Alyssa Milano looks like she just put on someone else's face. You ever see the Travolta movie Face Off? Or maybe it was Nicolas Cage. Or maybe it was both. Hell, I can't remember. Face Off. She put someone else's face on. Mother on bonding, Super Bowl. So this woman is begging for you to pay for him to go play at where? Cooperstown, while she can afford the thousands of dollars in tickets to go to the Super Bowl. Now, I have a hard time getting mad at this. I'll tell you why. Really don't get into how people spend their money. It just kind of does. I get the hypocrisy here. I get what's going on here. I get that our own Clay Travis, you'll see the tweet, had to step up and pay for her little boy to go to frickin' Cooperstown. My good friend Alyssa Milano could afford Super Bowl tickets, which cost an average of $10,000 each, but needed, much poorer people on Twitter, to pay for her son's team's Cooperstown Little League trip. Tony Danza would never. I'm going to assume that she was in a show with Tony Danza. The more you get to know Alyssa Milano, she just ain't that hot. And that's sad. I want everybody to be hot. Now, I'll tell you what she is. She's got all the little things. She's got all the little ads. She's got all the little stuff. She completely and totally hates Trump. We get that. That's good. But you know what? Don't be an idiot. Seriously, don't be an idiot. If you're begging for your kid to go to Cooperstown, and I get it, that's a thing, then don't be flaunting that you paid $10,000 plus to go to the frickin' Super Bowl. Just the way I look at the world. But you know what? Maybe I care what people think too much. And maybe Alyssa Milano's living life right. I do what I want because I can. This could get interesting. You know I'm a Rex Ryan fan. And no, it has nothing to do with the fact that he likes to sniff feet. Well, maybe it's got something to do with the fact that he likes to sniff feet. I'll tell you why that's interesting to me. What other NFL coach, seriously, what other NFL announcer, seriously, what other potential Dallas Cowboy defensive coordinator would let it be known that he's got a foot fetish? I don't understand the fetishes. Maybe I do. I've got a fetish. I don't know if it's a fetish, but you know what? We all have things that attract us to the opposite or same sex. But it's not a foot fetish. I don't think I have any fetishes. I don't have anything weird about me except that I eat the whole apple. That's true. I don't eat the stem, the end of it. I just throw that away because, you know, it's earth. But I eat the whole thing. It's not a fetish. It's just kind of weird. But anyway, I digress. So my man Rex Ryan is dying to get the Cowboys job. He wants the Cowboys job. By all accounts, he's interviewed the Cowboys job. Reports surface that a really good defensive coordinator, a really good guy, a really good coach, Mike Zimmer, is the new Cowboys coach. All right. Well, guess what? Rex Ryan's not having it. Rex Ryan said, first off, I'm not sure that Zimmer has that job right now. I'm not sure about that. I can honestly say I don't believe that is a fact right now. You know, it's interesting. When Rex Ryan says things like this, it feels like sour grapes. Don't know why. Otter Creek, you asked for it. You're going to get it there, kid. And I kept the thing on the side like the cool kids. You know how the cool kids put the lid or the visor on the side? That's what I did with the crown. That's the crown jewel right there. The reason I was out for 7 years was I had never called another head coach. I called Mike McCarthy. The reason I did it was because I want to be on this stage if I'm going to get back into coaching, to have a chance at that. I think with the roster the way it is, I think offensively and defensively, offensively and special teams and defense, I can be a little bit of an upgrade. That team could be right here at the Super Bowl. You know, he's been out 7 years, and here's the way I look at it. I've said this, and I will continue to say this. If I went back into coaching right now, right this moment, after being out since 2009, I like it better this way. After being out since 2008, I'd be a much better basketball coach than I ever was. I would be the guy that is more tolerant. I would be more understanding. I would have a broader view of things. My view when I was coaching was the Bob Knight view, motion offense. I would have a much broader view. Probably coached more games since I've been out of coaching in terms of AAU, that kind of thing, than I ever coached as a coach. So I get what Rex Ryan is trying to do. At some point, I swear, you guys don't understand this. You get bored. These TV jobs seem like they're great, but they're not. You sit around all day in a studio, Rex does, with some people that he may or may not like. You go on for a half an hour, and in that half an hour, there's 3 breaks. Other people are talking. Those jobs suck. And I got tired of it. I actually started making excuses not to have to go to ESPN because I hated the days. Get up. And I know this sounds stupid. I do. I understand this. It ain't digging ditches. It ain't being a cop. It ain't being an EMT or a teacher. But it just gets to where it's no fun. I swear to you. People make fun of me all the time and say, wow, you got fired. No, I didn't. 10 years was enough for me at ESPN. I liked the people I worked with until they weren't there anymore. Then when you get an opportunity to do a show like this, it's much different. Why is it different? I'll tell you. because it's your show and you're a team. And I love my team. I love getting a call at 5 o'clock from Nick, and I don't know where they're at. I don't know where they're going. Then about 10 at night, they're at a game or they're doing something. I like it. It keeps me young. I like sending stuff in the middle of the night. I like sending a picture of me with a baby head, baby body. But I'm telling you, you don't really get to do that when you're doing Rex Ryan's job. Are they great jobs? They're great jobs. And if I didn't have the option to go to OutKick, I'd have never left. But you literally sit around all day in a suit. You literally wait, and you're with people you may or may not like. And after 7 years, I could see where Rex Ryan's had enough. I can. People say, hey, I got one friend of mine that works at ESPN. He's like, I just keep my head down, man. I listen to all the idiots I got to sit at the table with. I try to sit at the cafeteria. I watch the games. I stay out of the way, try to get a workout in, and try not to be miserable. And now with the women at ESPN taking over and the yelling and the screaming and the hairdressing and the nails and the preparation and all the stupid that goes on, it is legendary over there. So I get, 1,000% I get why Rex Ryan might want to go. Now, you might get into coaching and all of a sudden you're like, well, that was stupid. I got offered a couple of jobs when I was at ESPN. A big-time assistant, three big-time assistant job, and a couple mid-major head coaching job. And you know what stopped me from doing it? What stopped me from doing it was I don't want to be there, be miserable, and go, man, that was dumb. Because at the time I was offered the jobs, I had people I really liked. I was working with Bart Fox, Scott Johnson, Mike Tirico. But later on, when those guys weren't there anymore, I'd have taken any job. I just so happened to get a great job. But I get, people are asking me, why would Rex Ryan do that? I'm just telling you. You mean you're going to sit there and you're going to listen all day to Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky? You've coached for 100 years. It's like somebody asked me, hey, would you like to have Nicole Arbaugh on? She's a NBC and athletic college basketball writer. And my answer was, I spent 10 years locked in a film room with Bob Knight. The hell is Nicole Arbaugh going to tell me about basketball? And that's the way I think. I'm wrong. But I guarantee you, that's how Rex Ryan thinks. So good for Rex Ryan. Get up and go if the time is right. But understand something. Oh, man. Understand. You're going to be fired every week, just like Mike McCarthy's fired every week. And don't think for a second that you're going to be Charlie Weiss. Remember Charlie Weiss said, we got a schematic advantage when he came to Notre Dame. I went, yeah, scheme this, Mother Hubbard. Anyway, good for him if that's what he thinks. Yay, rock, go fight, win. But I totally get why he's doing it. I totally do. I do. Jobs aren't that fun. Very, very few stood for Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Negro National Anthem. Not a pretty picture of a Super Bowl crowd. All right. Well, I don't know. You tell me this is a national anthem and we're all supposed to stand? You tell me, hey, look, this is a national anthem. Wait, no, it's not. It's Neil Diamond. Wait, huh? It's not. No. Wait, that's Billy Joel. That's not a national anthem. So wait a second here. Before you criticize, and I get what this guy Cohen is doing, this guy Cohen is pandering. See, I stood up for the, quote, Negro National Anthem. Is it really? Like, let me ask you a question. I don't know the answer. This is a legit question. Where does the Negro National Anthem play? At historically black colleges, do they not play the, I guess, American white national anthem and only play the, quote, Negro National Anthem? Gary West Side, all black school when I grew up. Gary Roosevelt, Gary Emerson, Horace Mann, Wirt, whatever. I never heard of the Negro National Anthem. Is this an underground thing? Is this a thing that people are going to say they were afraid to bring out in public because white supremacists are the bane of the existence? Look, you want to have a Negro National Anthem? Knock yourselves out. But don't ask people to stand for something that they don't believe in. National Anthem, whatever you think of it, is our national anthem. People have fought for this country, and maybe they fought for the Negro National Anthem too. Look, were I in the stands, I'm not going to lie. I'd take off my hat and just stand. I would. I don't need the aggravation. I don't care. I don't understand why the national anthem is played before games. Frankly, as a player and a broadcaster, I couldn't stand that the national anthem was played before games. I just wanted to play the game. You know, when we play in a golf tournament here in Indy at one of these country clubs that I belong in because, well, I'm filthy rich. I mean, I am a king. They bring out bagpipes, and they play the national anthem. But here's what's cool about it. The guys, they honor people that passed, warriors. They honor servicemen of the country club that passed. And I'm not going to lie to you. Usually, at a golf tournament, people are hungover, loud, drunk. Like if a woman shows up within 100 miles, everybody's gimme, gimme, gimme. Me, I stand in the back. Me, I like to compete. So I don't get drunk until after. Then I'll have 1,000 beers if I got to ride home. No more than 2 if I don't. But I got to tell you, standing there, it's moving. It's moving when the bagpipes play. It's moving to see guys that are veterans. It's moving when they say, we are doing this in honor of Joe Smith, Jimmy Black, whatever. It's kind of cool. So I got to tell you, if that means something, and it truly means something to African Americans, you're damn right I'll stand. I will. Now, I'd have to go back to about 4 minutes ago to see how I started this, because I'm not sure that's how I started it. But I don't know. I can't remember what I say half the time. I talk so much, 5 hours during the course of a day. But I'll tell you this. If I saw men and women, African American and white, whatever, hands over their heart, in deep thought, remembrance, maybe of pain and suffering from racism, listening to the, quote, Negro National Anthem, my ass would be standing with my hand over my heart and my hat off, because those guys respect it. I need to respect them, whoever those guys are. Can be a white guy standing there, hand over heart, crying, singing, remembering the Negro National Anthem. Could be a woman, could be a man, could be a kid. Don't care. They respect it. You know what? I owe it to them to respect it as well. Just the way I look at it does not mean I am right. I'm probably wrong. Should probably get angered by it. Should probably get triggered by it. Should probably get pissed. No. If it means something to you and I'm in your sphere, I'll join you. That's how I am. All right. So back, I don't know, like forever. During the Super Bowl, the President of the United States would do a little interview. It's a great move. I mean, you got over like 130 million people streamed and watched and whatever the Super Bowl. It's the largest Super Bowl audience ever. Well, for some reason, career politician Joe Biden said, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it because, well, I can't speak. It's not on my cycle of meds. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of the country, so I ain't doing it. Okay, Donald Trump raises his hand and says, yo, over here. Come on. DT in the hizzy. Give me that space. I'll rip it. I'll race it. I'll get you some ratings. Nah, too political. At least that's what CBS said. Nah. So what did CBS air instead? They aired ads from something called Temu. Temu is a Chinese-backed company. Temu listen to this. The Super Bowl, having a CCP, I assume that's China. I thought it was Russia, owned Temu commercial should be a wake-up call to all Americans. Temu is being sued for stealing customer, listen to this, financial info and having spyware embedded in their app. All that data is owned and controlled by Russia or by China. Don't download that app. How about that? How about that? How about we don't want a former president because, well, it's too political. It's dangerous. But instead, we're going to get our ally, or not our ally, our enemy. Thank you, Nicholas. I need to be better at this. CCP is a Chinese Communist Party. I actually knew that. If my head didn't hurt right now, I'd have smacked myself in the head and said, what a stupid I am. So instead of Donald Trump, a man who is seen by all as, well, a sugar daddy to some, a great entrepreneur to others, a playboy to others, but never a racist until he ran for president and did an unbelievable job as president, can't have him on CBS, Sean McManus. Why? Too political. So let's go get a Chinese Communist Party company that is being sued for stealing our stuff. What a world. We're being invaded on all levels, and we're just sitting here and watching. Now, can somebody explain that to me? I certainly can't, and I don't want to. I can't. But that's the way the world works today. Donald Trump, hell, they could not, Vogue, Vanity Fair, Cosmopolitan, Playboy, you name it. Let's be honest. The difference between hotness and Melania Trump and every other first lady in the history of first ladies is like the difference between, you name something that has a big difference. Me with a full head of hair in the 70s and me with this scraped up noggin of the 2020s. It's a big difference. But we can't put them on. People get mad. Oh, we don't want people to get mad. See, one of the things that we need to learn to do is to tell everybody to go F themselves. You don't like us having Trump? Hey, we tried to get Biden. He didn't want to come. Period. You don't like it? You don't like it. You don't like Melania Trump on our cover? Don't buy the magazine. But you'll buy the magazine. Guys will buy the magazine. RT 1953 says, DD, I cry every time the national anthem plays. Brothers I lost in Vietnam, brothers, children that have died for our freedom, I will not be standing or saluting any other. Fair enough. Fair enough. I get that. But I hope, you respect me that if I'm looking over there and there's an African-American man that is saluting and standing while the black national anthem or whatever you want to call it, national anthem plays, I'll be respectful of him because that's just the right thing to do. Like RT 1953, while you're saluting, this is how I look at it. While you're saluting and remembering brothers, it would be awesome if I, whatever I believed in, stood next to you with respect for that. That's how I look at it. Doesn't mean anybody's got to salute. Doesn't mean anybody's got to do anything. It's just how I look at it. I will always respect others, particularly when it involves some hardship, whether it is racism, whether it is a loss overseas in a conflict. I will respect it, and I will join in on that respect. I've always said, boys and girls, I'm here for a good time. I ain't here to cause any trouble. I just am not. A couple of things to get to. It's pissing a lot of people off what I'm saying, huh? You getting pissed, Indy? Well, don't. This is easy. Patrick Mahomes has jumped past John Elway and Peyton Manning like it's his job. I get it. Oh, Peyton. Dadgummit, I got great commercials. And when I say but I got to tell you, that's the beauty of winning this Super Bowl. The beauty of winning this Super Bowl is this. It totally changed history. Now, NFL fans, if you're going to keep going with Elway is greater than whomever, maybe you're right. But you got to put in Mahomes ahead of all of these. Here's why. Mahomes, I think anybody that watches the game understands, well, Mahomes makes it all happen. I hate to say it, but Mahomes makes the entire deal happen, and there is no arguing that. Peyton Manning, well, he took a bunch of bad players and made them good. Reggie Wayne, okay. Now he's crying he doesn't get in the Hall of Fame. Dallas Clark, okay. Probably a Hall of Famer. But all of a sudden, with 3 Super Bowls, boom, Patrick Mahomes jumps ahead. He does, of Roethlisberger, Manning, Elway. And it ain't close because of how he does it. Look at this. So I went back and I looked at all the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and there's a bunch, all right? Bart Starr won a couple. Unitas, Bob Greasy won back-to-back. Bradshaw won 4 of them, for crying out loud. And one of the things you got to understand about Terry Bradshaw and his 4 is that I can't believe how people don't have Terry Bradshaw in this discussion. I can't believe that Terry Bradshaw and the throws he made, well, they had Franco Harris. Well, so what? Everybody's got good players. Terry Bradshaw to John Stallworth. Terry Bradshaw to the great Lynn Swann. Legendary. Let me ask you a question. I mean, it's a simple question. What's a quarterback supposed to do but throw it to receivers? Every time somebody talks about great quarterbacks, every single time, they talk about championships. Tom Brady's the greatest because he's won all these championships. And they're right. They're not wrong. But why isn't Terry Bradshaw in this? Why was it always, you know who else has won 3? Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman's won 3 Super Bowls, and he's not talked about. Why? Because he had Michael Irvin? I mean, a lot of guys had a lot of pretty good players. Why? So you got Eli Manning with a couple. You got Peyton Manning with a couple. You got, what's-his-face with 3, talking about Aikman. You got Bart Starr with a couple. Bob Greasy with a couple. I got to tell you, though, why is Terry Bradshaw not in this discussion? The dude's got 4 Super Bowls. Joe Montana, 4 Super Bowls. All right. He should be in the discussion. Jim Plunkett, 2 Super Bowls. You guys don't even know who Jim Plunkett is, but he was a number 1 pick in the draft, milled around, came back to the Raiders, and won 2 Super Bowls. No, it's amazing. What this kid has done, what he has done, Patrick Mahomes, is somewhat unprecedented. Look, let's look at it. I don't know. Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl 54, win. Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl 57, win. I don't know. He's pretty good. Next thing you know, Patrick Mahomes, he's going to win about 8. He is. And he's going to be the MVP many, many, many more times. Let me ask you a simple question here. I'm looking at this list. I think Patrick Mahomes has won 3. I don't see Patrick Mahomes here as winning 3. But I see and I think Mahomes has won 3. Patrick Mahomes passed all these guys. You guys are nuts. You guys are insane. You guys are talking about quarterbacks that, you know what? No. You got to put Mahomes ahead of a lot of these guys, but I'm not so sure you put Mahomes ahead of Terry Bradshaw. I'm not sure you do. You guys might. I don't know. I honestly don't. 2020, Mahomes. 2023, Mahomes. 2024, Mahomes. Goodbye, Peyton. And it makes people crazy, particularly here in Indy. What should make them crazy is the squandering of Peyton Manning. 14 years, 2 Super Bowls. 4 years, 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos. That's the squandering of Peyton Manning. That's like, what the hell are we doing? But when I started looking at this, it fascinated me. Roethlisberger, you're past. Manning, you're past. Other Manning, you're past. Elway, you're past. But you're not past Terry Bradshaw. I don't like Terry Bradshaw as an analyst. I don't think there's anything real about him. I think he's morphed into that. I know he's had some depression. He's morphed in that I'm depressed, but I'm going to go overly happy over the last 5-10 years. I'm sure he's a wonderful man. That ass picture that he did in the movies wasn't great. But I'll tell you right now, man. I'll tell you right now. That dude is right there with Montana. That dude is right below. I'm not going to say he's not. Right below freaking Brady. And Troy Aikman doesn't get the respect he deserves. I thought Troy Aikman only won 2. I didn't realize Troy Aikman won 3. Pretty good, man. I mean, why do we give Joe Montana such respect? Why does Joe Montana, who had Jerry Rice, the all-time leading receiver, Ronnie Lott, the all-time best safety, why do we give him such incredible respect, but we don't give it at all to Terry Bradshaw? Why is that? Man, they had a great defense. So did the 49ers. What do you want me to tell you? They all had great defenses. Somebody needs to explain that to me. Seriously.